Alright, I am super excited for this video, mostly because I'm really into martial arts, really into MMA, all that kind of stuff, and this is primarily a martial arts question, at least that with a big fiction twist, which is, of course, powers come with martial arts. You know this, it's fiction. But anyways, today we have two iconic fictional martial artists going up against each other. We have Iron Fist from Marvel Comics, 616 universe, versus Ryu from the Street Fighter games and comics and lore. If these two were matched up, who would be the superior fighter? Now, to best answer this, we're going to equalize stats like AP and speed and just determine who's more skilled, and because of their practices and styles, who has better hacks and abilities coming from their energy-based martial arts forms. So I got my buddy from the coffee shop here, Captain Forrest. He's going to break down Ryu for you guys. I'll go first with my breakdown of Iron Fist. I hope you guys enjoy this. Make sure to check out the other coffee shop members in the description down below. This is a great video to do. Tomorrow I am doing a raffle video winner, which is Pain versus Toguro. And then after that, on July 4th, Captain America versus Deathstroke, the complete video drops. Super excited, but with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy. If you want to see the winner of this video face Kenshiro, get this video to 400 likes, but that's all I got for right now. Sorry for the long intro. This is Iron Fist versus Ryu, stats equalized. Who would win? YFE and Captain Forrest. I hope you guys enjoy. Let's begin. Now, briefly, Iron Fist is Danny Rand. He was a young boy who grew up with billionaire parents, and unfortunately during a hiking trip in the mountains, a family friend assassinated his family, ended up leaving Danny stranded on a mystical realm called Kunlun that suddenly appeared, and he was raised there and trained to be the immortal Iron Fist, which is the weapon of Shao-Lao the Undying. And he later on returned to New York to seek vengeance for the death of his family, but he also became bigger than that, joining teams such as the Avengers and hanging around Hell's Kitchen, helping them out, even becoming a legendary Heroes for Hire with Luke Cage. So, let's look at the skill aspects of Iron Fist. What makes him such a good martial artist and worthy skilled combatant? Well, he's casually danced and styled on Batroc, who is able to compete with characters like Spider-Man and Captain America in skill. He's knocked away Thing, who's able to combat beings like Hulk. He can read your preconceived motions and styles of attacks. He does this by analyzing your stance. Once he breaks down your stance, he decides, okay, seeing how they move, I know they're going to do this specific style and these types of moves. And when that occurs, he instantly knows how you're going to fight him. And he also knows how to disguise his own stance. Historically, he is seen as a martial arts expertise rival to even the likes of Shang-Chi, who's said to have mastered all martial arts. He has styles that were created specifically to neg hacks such as precog and telepathy, and allows him to fight beings with these powers. He perfects forms he learns, and then he takes them to new, unnatural levels. So basically, while he 100% masters a form, that form is still bound within itself, and he was taught to take it beyond those bounds. He learns all the styles he possibly can because he believes that each style, no matter how good and how mastered it is, does have some form of weakness. And to neg weaknesses, it is best to learn as many styles and master them as possible. He can read fakes and feigned injuries or weaknesses when you try to get the drop on him. This allows him to obviously counter setups and traps during fights. He's incredibly adept with all kinds of weapons as a martial artist, so if weapons were to enter the battle, although he's primarily hand-to-hand, he's going to know what to do and how to counteract. He folded characters like Spider-Man with nerve strikes, who can normally just absorb strikes and not be affected, but he knows skill-wise how to bypass your durability. Casually, he's able to neg projected illusions through discipline, and this was used in the form of technology by Iron Man. He's just as efficient without his eyesight. Some of the training with Kunlun includes, of course, fighting blinded because even while compromising a sense a true martial artist should be on balance. He's skilled enough to casually tag invisible foes. His training instills precog even without using things like chi. He can bypass senses of those trained to detect elite stealth assassins. He's trained to dissect your weakness and exploit all of your weaknesses as soon as he finds them. He has shown consistently that he can even get the drop on characters like Spider-Man, who have incredibly adept precog and senses. While weakened, he can go toe-to-toe and draw skill admiration from the likes of even Captain America. He has also gone skill for skill, hand-to-hand, with bloodlusted Shang-Chi while trying to calm Shang-Chi down and break the mind control. He's pretty easily imitated the skills of Daredevil while dressed like him and went up against Daredevil no problem. The fight was interrupted, of course, when it was revealed the two friends were fighting. He has the chi skill and battle knowledge and the martial arts of the former Iron Fist before him, and from the timeless realm of Kunlun itself. He's also read the books of the Iron Fist and is well versed and well adept in everything they learned throughout history before him. Now, we've discussed how skilled he is. What about the hacks and abilities that come with him being the immortal Iron Fist Avatar Shao Lao the Undying? His chi can neg being made unreal and having his actual form and substance taken away, and through will and chi, he was able to reform himself and give himself form. He can also heal dimensional rifts, and he showed that by using the power of the chi in that same story. He can merge his mind with yours in order to break hold of a possession that is put upon others. So this is important because you got to consider things like demonic possession he could try to break hold of. Energy absorption and redirection is pretty consistent for the likes of the Iron Fist. He has devastating area of effect potential, even being able to drop the likes of the massive helicarrier from S.H.I.E.L.D. with just a single strike. The fist not only is an energy attack, but it burns as well. We know this because we've seen it strike objects like steel, and after destroying it, we can see some of the scraps still burning. He's killed beings made of energy and beings that were intangible at the time, and he's still able to strike them because of the hacks of the Iron Fist. He can drop beings that tanked prior attacks by amping himself with his chi massively. He showed this against beings like Ragnarok, who was made to emulate the likes of Thor. His chi also can neg magic. This is shown up to the extent of being able to combat magic spells like the Crimson Bands of Cyttorak. His fists and chi can calm down blind rage and rage in general, even on the likes of the Hulk's level. He can heal himself from the brink of death using willpower and chi combined, and it was stated that his healing abilities through the use of chi is directly tied to how confident he is in being able to heal from it. He can cleanse the mind of madness via strikes, and this was impressive because he was actually fighting Luke Cage, who was driven mad, and every strike he used to cleanse the madness from Luke Cage and eventually brought him down, lacking completely purified of the madness. Time has no meaning over the chi he uses to heal. His conviction, like I said, and will amps his power to manipulate this chi. He has a mastery of subtle hypnotism as well, using the hypnotic fist to hypnotize foes. He can create chi blasts that are a threat to even Captain America and Wolverine and Spider-Man, and he also can create large chi constructs like flowing mystical dragons. The mystical and sage arts that he is blessed with that are sacred provide his form with auto shields from harmful magical realms that would otherwise kill a mortal. He can imbue objects with destructive chi to amp the AP. So let's say he picks up an object in a battle, he can actually amp it with his chi and make it stronger. He's trained to neg reality warping and other forms of illusion pretty regularly. Now, that's it for the Iron Fist section. I hope you guys appreciate how skilled and gifted he is as a martial artist. But with that being said, I'm going to pass it off to my boy Forrest, and he's going to go ahead and break down Ryu for you guys.
Okay. For this versus battle, since stats are equalized, I will not be going over attack potency nor speed. If you guys would like to see a future power scaling video on Ryu, you guys know what to do. Hit the like button and subscribe and show your support. Now, I'm going to go ahead and talk about Ryu. In terms of skill, Ryu has mastered Anatsukan martial arts. Ryu has fought and defeated Seth, who has all combat data and abilities of every single martial artist in the series. Seth also has absorbed countless amounts of combat data and has accumulated knowledge equivalent to that of hundreds of fighters. Ryu was the first person ever to push Oro to use two hands in a fight. Akuma states that Oro has transcended all forms of martial arts. This is very impressive for Ryu, as no other combatants have been able to push Oro to this extent. Not even Akuma was able to do so. Naturally, Ryu scales above a lot of the other characters who are experts, if not masters, of their own fighting styles. Now moving on to powers and abilities. Ryu can smell killing intent and the presence of Kage, such as smelling is bloodlust and Kage is only a shadow. Ryu also has energy absorption, as Ryu can absorb chi, and is also demonstrated to absorb the Satsui no Hado from Sakura. Ryu can also infuse his willpower into his chi by flexing it by using Fudo Shin. Ryu can also use telekinesis. Ryu has precognition via the mind's eye, which allows him to anticipate attacks and parry them and then follow up with a counterattack. Ryu also has the thrust strike, which allows Ryu to stay steps ahead and anticipate and dodge his opponent's attack, and of course follow up with a counterattack. Ryu also has instinctive reaction, as Ryu instinctively throws Guile on the floor. Now let's talk about Ryu's forms and chi abilities. Ryu can throw out his standard Hadoukens, which are physical, spiritual, and mental in nature. Ryu can manipulate and change the elements in his chi attacks, such as infusing fire and lightning into his chi-based attacks. Chi in Street Fighter is physical, spiritual, and mental in nature, as it's been even stated by Seth during the Bleak project that the machine absorbs spiritual energy, aka from ki from the host's body. Chi users in Street Fighter have passive sensory. Akuma even states that Ryu's ki control has grown, showing that Ryu has great ki control. Ryu can also sense and tell if someone has chi within their body, as Ryu recognized that the Guile he was talking to was a fake Guile who was actually under possession. Now let's talk about Evil Ryu. By giving into the Satsui no Hado, he gains different powers, such as the Raging Demon, which attacks and destroys the soul. The potency of this soul destruction is dependent on the evil within the foe. There are arguments for the Raging Demon to contain higher levels of soul destruction. The Satsui no Hado grants you these abilities, such as teleportation. The demon teleportation creates after images and arguably phasing hacks, as it has been shown that the likes of Akuma can phase through chi-based attacks. Now onto Ryu's next form, the Power of Nothingness. The Power of Nothingness gives Ryu the instinctive reaction and cosmic awareness, as it states, the Power of Nothingness is a state of consciousness transcending ordinary perspective, born through spiritual and mental refinement. bearing common traits which states of being Buddhism, martial arts, and spiritual perfection. It is the power to act without being attached to emotion or thought, free of fear, anger, pride, and ego, to draw upon the contents of one's heart intuitively without obstacle and hesitation, and to be aware of the world and to know one's place and meaning within its vastness, to flow with all of creation without the need to worry, desire, or doubt. Ryu has also demonstrated in his power of nothingness state that his own Hadoukens themselves can freeze time. Ryu can also parry and stun and incapacitate his foes to then follow up with a finishing blow. Now let's talk about Ryu's next form, Shin Ryu. Ryu mastered both dualities of the Satsui no Hado and power of nothingness so much that he made Akuma, who was more experienced in using the Satsui no Hado at the time, look nothing more than a joke. Essentially, he merged the Satsui no Hado and power of nothingness into his base form, like Goku did with his God Ki in Dragon Ball. In this form, Ryu can use the dual killing technique to destroy his opponent's soul, or BFR it, as he did to Gil. Ryu can tap into this form whenever he wants. Once Ryu mastered both dualities, Ryu can use any of the abilities that the power of nothingness or Satsui no Hado contain, such as Ryu being able to teleport. Ryu can also create a chi barrier onto resistances. Ryu's Hadoukens neg corruption. Ryu was able to force the evil violent energy back in hiding within Ken's body. Ryu also has mind and soul resistances. His chi attacks affect your mind, body, and soul, as chi, as I mentioned prior, is spiritual in nature. And it's also shown that the Satsui no Hado corrupts, makes you go insane, and takes over your mind. And the chi attacks destroy your body and soul and vaporize it, and Ryu has shown to tank chi based attacks and also contain and resist the Satsui no Hado from taking over his body. And lastly, Ryu was able to resist his soul from being absorbed from the Kali. And that's going to round up Ryu's portion.
So, if these two were to collide as martial artists, who do I see winning? First of all, amazing matchup. Both are valid in being claimed to be some of the best martial artists around. However, I do think there is perhaps a slight difference here. Ryu has bested characters who have transcended martial art forms entirely. Whereas when I spoke on Iron Fist, he was going past forms, but he wasn't like transcending by a great margin or doing something crazy like that. He was just breaking molds to a more significant degree, and it doesn't seem to really measure up to what Ryu is potentially capable of as a skilled martial artist. Now, Danny is very formidable, and I believe his chi manipulation and ability to attack demonic forms makes him a threat to Ryu when Ryu taps into other forms. However, when we have Iron Fist approaching a potentially more skilled fighter with the idea of depowering them or calming them down, whereas Ryu is out here looking to kick him in the face, just kill him, like low-key, blast him away, destroy his mind, body, soul, all that. I think the different approach as martial artists and the less, careful approach from Ryu makes him a little more dangerous, and I think Fist, in an attempt to disable or disrupt the forms of Ryu and ultimately how Ryu's attacking him, I think he'll get caught in that moment. And eventually, after a hard-fought battle, I see Ryu emerging victorious. Ryu wins. Anyways, guys, hit the like button. 400 likes. We'll do Kenshiro or God, I'm sorry guys, I'm tired. Kenshiro versus Ryu, since Ryu won. And if that does well, we'll continue from there. But anyways, it's been your boy YFE. Again, shout out to Captain Force for coming on here. And if you want to become a member, check out the $5 deal via Cash App. It's only $5 a month for full membership and your name on the upcoming Wall of Fame video outro. Anyways, it's been your boy YFE. Thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.